This next point of order here on the Model A is get this gas tank installed. The gas tank's got to go in first before I can put in the header panel, the windshield, and all that stuff to get to working on the top. Because I want to put this top on this thing while it's off here, where I don't have to work over that off of that chassis and that running gear. But the gas tank is extremely difficult to put in to get this welting in there just right, wherever I've got it here, that goes around the tank. It has an anti-rattle piece that goes here, an anti-rattle piece that goes here, and then this piece sits down in there, and you have to work it in tight and then work this tank down. It fits so tight. I've had it in there about 4 times, and I just took it out again and made some marks, and I've got to move these corners just a little bit. All the work and mock-up I did on this, I never had the anti-rattle piece in, and that just goes to show how much on these mock-ups you have to assemble every nut, every bolt, every piece, because it would have showed up that these were a little tight. With that, just that little thin strip in there, it makes it a little too tight, so I've had to move those just a little bit. But I've got those moved a little, and I'm fixing to try to put it back in there another time and get this piece in there. So I've put your panel in on your firewall, and I've done everything I need to do with the firewall because the way this tank goes in and comes through right here, once it's in place, I can't do anything in there. So I'm going to give you a closer look and then try to put this gas tank in for the last time. But it is extremely delicate and extremely tedious getting this gas tank in here. This has been very, very difficult. This thing has to lay right there, and it has to be taped in. If you glue it, you can't pull it in tight once you get it in place. And the way it sets in over here, it's got to set in between the two to kind of fill the gap and just barely protrude out. But then up here at the top, that piece sets down so hard it's actually going to be up on the tank a little bit. So that I've marked that transition right here where it's actually going to be over on the tank, and then right here where it's going to be a little in that gap. And then here's our anti-rattle strips in place, and I've got to work on getting this piece in there. I'll put a sealant in between this and that down through there here in a minute, and then you can see your firewall has the mat, and then has the blanket, the heat shield blanket, and then not sure what that aluminum barrier is that was put on this, and then that plastic piece. So that firewall is going to be extremely sound deadened and heat resistant. So I'm going to get back in here and try to set this tank for one last time. But I've made several attempts with this, and I'm fixing to hopefully get it this time. Alright, Bruce, just want to show you how this is coming out. This gas tank has been very tricky getting it in here with this belt line all the way around. It's so tight on the ends, every time it goes in, it actually pushes it off, and it's very, very tight right there where that fits, and then it's loose. It's just real difficult to get it pulled tight all the way around, and yours is in really good shape right there. And that piece of trim that I did all that work on that didn't fit, now that it's polished, finished, and done, it went right on, just very, very nice. And put in the stainless bolts in here, and your little chrome piece pivot there, the center hinge for the hood. And yeah, look how good that come out. Looks really nice. So now I'm fixing to work on this. I'm going to get this on there. I've got to seal it across here first, and then put all my my hinge for my windshield in there, so I can get this piece on, and then when that piece is on, then I can start working on the top. Bruce, thank goodness we did all this test fit and all this work on mocking all this wood up, because as I tighten all this up, you know, it's going to move this post around, and I've already fit the doors to that, so I'm pretty comfortable for sure that that this is all where it needs to go. I've done a lot of work goes on this front header because there's multiple pieces involved with this, between the front panel, the windshield hinge, the wood inside, the wood across the back. So I've installed this piece, and I've sealed it all the way into the bottom, and then sealed all the way around it, sealed all the posts with a urethane sealant. And then where the two pieces of wood on this corner don't fit exactly right, I've fabricated little inserts, wood in there, and I want to insert that in there and glue that in place, and then tighten that down, and all that'll be glued in place, and then come back in here and finish filling up any gaps I have with my my urethane sealant to get this header sealed up as good as possible. But I can't stress enough of how how good it's been being able to put this car completely together, drive it, check it all out, make all my adjustments, because now everything is just going right in place and fitting so nicely. So I'm going to make another one of these little plates for the other side and then drive that in there, screw that down, seal this corner up. All this I've got kind of loosely, all the screws in it, but just loosely mocked up. I'll assemble all that around there. This back piece, I've got it sealed between this and the body. I'll seal it all the way around, and then we'll start putting the top on. So so far so good. Just want to show you what I was involved with just getting this this header in here properly. I've got to go back in here and drill holes. This is hardwood, and I've got nails to hold this panel in here, and they're ring shank nails. So each nail has to go in perfectly straight the first time. There's no pulling a ring shank nail out of hardwood, that oak. So that'll be a little tricky down through there, and then we'll work on getting the visor on, the window in, and then I can start putting this top on. But man, it really, really looks nice.